What are the issues facing women in the business, and how can they position themselves for greater success?
Okay, women in business has been a long history of the issues, some of which I came face to face with when I started business, except that I was more mature since I started business at age 50. But you, just an idea is not necessarily a business. And one of the reported thing from research is that there's a high rate of business failure among women in business and, well, business in general, because it was a good idea that really was not a business. Some have turned it around successfully and make the business, some not so good. The issue of experience in business, and rather than trying to do it yourself, from the get-go to hire somebody to run the business, there's a tendency to hold on to it, to want to run it yourself.
True.
The issue of the resources to support the business, including business finance, is a serious issue even up to now, because the financial institutions are a little bit wary of who they lend money to, and of this myth of thinking that a woman ought to have a partner with them in the business, I find problematic. And it still exists. The difficulty with getting business financing is one of those things that plague women in businesses. I personally suffered from it and couldn't get funds from financial institutions, so I was able to turn to family and so on. And so you find a lot of women go through this same kind of issue. And I think the issues are well known, right? But from where I sit, the business of really what you're thinking of, is it really a business? Are people out there willing to buy what you're selling? Because to have a nice idea and convert to a business with nobody to buy it. Another thing is research as the base. So you must know your audience out there that you're going to be appealing with, regardless of the type of business. Who are going to be your clients? You see, so you find that the failure rate stems from the fact that once you establish the business, it doesn't get off the ground, or it fails within 3 to 5 years because you don't have people to purchase whatever you're selling.
Yeah, and just to add to that, given the difficulty with starting a business, did you go through, drafting up a business plan and all of those steps?
It's a must, and if as I say, if you don't have a plan, if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. Mm-hmm. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You must know, and that's what I'm saying. Research and everything comes up. You have to know where's the product or service coming from, where's the skill that you're gonna have, where's the support, the finances and thing is gonna come from. You see what I mean? Yeah. So a business plan is essential. And number one, you can't approach a financial institution without a plan. I mean, luckily they are running courses now to train you how to do it. But in my days, it was, you're on your own, right? And a plan is a must if you're going to be starting any business.
What influenced you to establish Manpower and Maintenance Services, and what are some of the company services?
Manpower Maintenance Services is the child of Caribbean Health Management Consultants Limited. I returned to Jamaica having been away 26 years plus, and I had to create, I couldn't find any employment. So I created a business to create employment for myself, right? And so the area that I went into was wide open, which was cleaning hospitals. There was a lot my background is health, as you know. There was a lot of complaint about how hospitals were dirty and so on. And with my background, being a hospital administrator, overseas, health advisor for CARICOM and so on, I knew the situation. So I decided that was the easiest thing to go into, to offer to the government of the day to outsource hospital services. And so I got into an area where the country was ready to buy what I was offering, which is cleaning commercial cleaning, janitorial service, commonly known. And that grew from not only just cleaning hospitals, but when word got out that hospitals were being cleaned, then you had private sector companies, homes, everybody started calling. Of course, I did a lot of promotion and so on. And they started calling. So now it's a group of companies. Manpower Maintenance Services Limited Group. We are now formalizing a parent company. So you have Manpower Maintenance Services Limited, which is janitorial, grounds, landscape, pest control, and so on. You have Manpower Maintenance Business Services, which do labor management, human outsource services, as it's called. We manage workers in different companies. For example, you go to different companies, not just cleaning, but servers, bar people, and so on. We supply and manage them. A number of warehouses. So that's Manpower Maintenance Business Services. Manpower Maintenance Sales and Distribution. One of the things that benefited us coming out of COVID is that when nobody could find supplies or enough supplies, we were able to identify a source in Colombia. And so we started flying in gloves, masks, PPEs, everything. Chemicals were being made locally. So from that, selling during COVID, we now open up stores. So there are stores called clean stores now where we are selling all cleaning supplies, chemicals, gloves, boots, PPEs, name it. There's one in Draxhall, there's one at 11 Collins Green here, there's one in Mandeville on Ward Avenue, and there's one in Montego Bay in Sagicor Center. So I was one of those who benefited from COVID, much as we lost workers and so on and so forth. So we now also have Institute for Workforce Education and Development. We got the award last year from the Gleaner for workforce education, and part of this award that I get now is as a result of that. So we train people for the workforce. We'll take you off the street corner, whether you can read or write, how many subjects or not. And that is my legacy. That's what I'm proud of. To take people off the street corner, clean them up. Because the workforce is on the street corner. And with over 3,000 workers that I have now, I just, school dropouts, deportees, what have you, and we train them. And we get grants for training and so on. For example, we have gotten grants from JCIF, we have grants from Heart, Trust, and what. So the Institute for Workforce Education and Development, IWED, it is commonly called, is now certified as a higher level education institution. The other company is, we are big on corporate social responsibility. So we have Manpower and Maintenance Services Foundation, which we support health, education, and sports. Then we have Empower Women's Group, where we support women and girls, sending them to school and so on. We made a pledge that no janitor, cleaner, grounds whatnot child should come to Manpower to work in that job as well, because we used to have that, and we decided no, we have to put something in place. So I'm the patron of that Empower Women's Group, and so we're paying for, right now we have one in school in UTech, we have students at Excelsior, we work with other companies that we provide stipend for people in school. We are now working with the Paralympics. We have one student at university that we are paying for. So those are the active companies right now. We are being requested from clients to do waste management. So there's a waste management company that is registered, not activated yet. And also property management. We have a number of properties ourselves, and clients are making the inquiry. So we have a property management company. So these two, we have not activated them yet because you can't be all things to all men. And we normally do a good piece of research, the timing for when to launch those businesses, so that you can see where Manpower is a group of companies.
Okay. Understood. So I'm not sure if you covered this question, but I'm going to ask still. I was going to ask if you intend to expand your business in terms of like more services, or it depends on like what clients request.
Well, as I said, clients are requesting property management. Clients are requesting waste management. The other part of the business is that businesses are asking us to be their distributor. And right now we have contract with 3 distributors where we distribute their products in Jamaica. We actually have one for a chemical called Microfresh out of UK. That was a big chemical during COVID. We signed an agreement and it's going through the process at Bureau of Standards and Ministry of Health now to get us permission to be the distributor for that company. The other big area, we are the distributor for Fuller Pinto out of Colombia for a number of products for cleaning and so on. We are now also in the process and have signed an agreement with another company to distribute their paper products, tolling out of St. Lucia. And in another week or so, we have another company coming in to explore. Because all these are tied in, and because our business is so huge, not only labor, but we are buying these supplies and whatnot ourselves. And our clientele, we have over 300 and odd clients and 3,000 staff. So we have a ready market for selling the things that are in our stores for cleaning and so on. And so that is how the expansion is taking place. We are doing the research right now because some of the companies that are approaching us to be the distributor wants us outside of Jamaica as well, particularly in CARICOM countries. And that research is underway right now, and it's looking good that we can move into the islands because the companies that are asking us to be distributor for them already are doing some businesses in those islands, but they want it to be coordinated by us. So the future is quite bright in terms of growth and expansion.
Having such a large business as you mentioned, how were you able to like run your company and still manage like family life and other external activities?
Well, the good thing is that I'm single, and of course I retired recently, but the business is a family-owned business. So I started out with one niece. My son joined subsequently, and other family members, nieces, nephews, what have you. But we don't run it like the typical, Manpower is not run like the typical family-owned business. We don't have any family member feeding at the trough. The only 2 persons who are very active at the management level is me and my son. I retired, he resigned, so now it's being run by an outsider. Don Gittins is the new CEO who took over just about 2 years ago when I retired. I'm now just the chairman. And so there's a wonderful team. The general manager for people services is with Manpower is 35 years this year. She's with Manpower 35 years. She left once and came back. So the management team, the senior leadership team, most of them are there way above 5 years. So it's people who make things happen. So all through this running, the people ran Manpower. Of course, I have put in my number of hours as well. But if you don't have that team, you can't talk about your manager, leader, what have you. You look behind you and nobody's following. I have been so blessed that the team that I've had in Manpower over the 30-odd years that I ran it and stayed there, a number of them, people who came in as janitors are now managers, right? Because the way I operate, I only set the example. Treat people properly, pay them properly, be there for them. We have a slogan, if you're sick, we look after you, if you die, we bury you. That's all, and that you find our turnover is very small. So it's people. I always tell people, Manpower is not about me. I'm out the picture, no, I'm only the chairman. But the staff, not only the senior staff, from the janitor right up, any one of them can run Manpower because we share information with them. We take them out to meetings, and the CEO, he's not new anymore, 2 years, Don Gittins, he's going to a meeting, he takes them with him. He rewards them. And we always have to talk about putting the people first, because our thing is the people who make things happen. It's not just you, the manager. And as I said, people like to jump up and talk about you being lead and this. If you are leading and nobody's behind you, you're leading nowhere because you have no followers. That's not so at Manpower. We engage with the worker from on the ground. From the day you come in a janitor, janitors have turned supervisors, quality assurance coordinators, and a lot of them are in school. Because not only are they there doing courses, we had a big graduation a couple of weeks ago. Not only are they graduating from IWED, our school, they are graduating from UE, they are graduating from UTech, they are graduating from UCC. And we provide support for the workers who are going back to school. Actually, we did literally force them to go back to school because the jobs are here. When you get a degree and whatever, you can get your employment right here. And and we have quite a few like that. Right. So you can't be out there talking about the school, IWED, used to be Manpower Training Unit. That became a school in 2007, I think. And now here we are, just on the edge of becoming a fully accredited university. That's how Manpower work. So you come in on the ground and you can go right up. So I have people there 28 years, 25 years, 35 years, 30 years in Manpower. And this type of business, you know, people used to look at it, oh, a janitorial company or what. We are a business like every other business. And the base of it is people. It's labor intensive. So you can understand our emphasis on making sure that people are at the heart of what we do.
What advice would you give to other women in the field of business or aspiring entrepreneurs?
First of all, I don't want to use the word to get a mentor. You need to research and see what is out there that you want to do. Because whatever you think about, somebody else is already doing it. So you need to go out there and find out. Get advice and know when to hire help. I know people who had big business going and said, oh, I hired so-and-so, the operation manager, behaving like him own the business and what have you. But that's a good thing. If I have a worker who is behaving like them own the business, that means they are producing and running the business. So my advice is, you do the research, whichever area you're in, get good advice and know when to hire. And you must know when to leave too and turn it over to somebody. It took me 5 years to find the appropriate person to take over from me, to break the back of family-owned, family-managed. Nobody from my family is managing anything in Manpower now. Manpower is being managed totally by external people. So once you lay that foundation and you can grow on it, remember the people who you are working with. And as I said, I emphasize over and over and over again, know when to get help, because you alone don't know everything. Get help. And that is something I find people say, oh, but when I get, they're gonna call. No, know when to get help and know when to let go. When I walked away from Manpower, so many people said, and Audrey, yes, I give it up. I have other things to do. The garden you see here, I bake and feed my staff, I cook, I do everything. I am done with running a business, right? And I get the reward because I have so much. If you see my bio brief, the amount of awards that I've gotten, and I share them with the people because it's the people who is at the base of what I do that make me look good and allow me to achieve. For example, healthcare. How could I be alone go out there to go clean a hospital? We thought janitorial service in hospital is healthcare, you know, it's part of something. It's people, right? Training the people to do the work. That's why you see they're talking about in health, because my background is healthcare and workplace education is what I'm saying. Too many people take people and things and forget about modern things, things are changing and what have you, and to bring them back for skilling, reskilling, upskilling, and so on. So that's when I look back at the reason for getting, this is one of the awards that I appreciate more than some of them in the past, and I've gotten plenty. But this one is special. At this age, in retirement, to be recognized for the work that I do, and excellence in health. I mean, when I read the thing, I said, they're really talking about me, but I've put in the work. And I have relied on people for my support. And so that's where I am today. Now retired happily. I still give some service. I work mostly with the Training Institute now. And I don't go near the office. If they call me to a meeting, I decide, do I need to go there or not? I leave them alone to run the business, and they pay me my retirement money monthly. Leave them alone. Know when to quit, and I've done that. So this award is like icing on the cake to know that at this stage of my life that the Bureau of Women's Affairs to honor me with an award like this at this stage of my life. It's a good feeling. I'm happy.
All right, so you basically touched the final question I had, because I was going to ask how you felt having received the award from the ministry, and you had mentioned before that it was the people who, you know, allowed you to reach where you're at. So I'm not sure if you want to touch anything else.
Yeah, well, as I said, when I got the letter, I mean, I was quite surprised. I said, somebody really remember that I'm out here? And then when I got excited is when I got the award and saw that they're talking about excellence in health and work and workforce something. I mean, which is the two areas of emphasis in my life. I'm a health person, and I created these jobs for this big workforce. So this is really, really what, as I mentioned, and I know I'm repeating myself, one of the awards among the many that, I mean, I cherish, because this is really making me feel good about the work that I've done throughout the years, culminating in retirement to be getting an award for it. It doesn't come better than this.
Our Today, inspiring your tomorrow.